All right. So, and we're using the scriptures that we're using today is coming out of the KJV 16:11 in the Apocrypha, and it's Leviticus 2:23-2. I didn't put that one all the way out. Sorry about this, sisters. And I will read it. And it says, "Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them concerning the feast of the Lord, which ye shall proclaim to be a holy convocation, even those are my feast." All right, so this is what we're talking about, feast days. And I just put things on this to make this PowerPoint look cute. Royal teaching, sisterhood, and holy convocation. Alrighty. So welcome, and the purpose of this today is about the feast days. Ecclesiasticus in the Bible, not the Apocrypha, 12:13 said, "Fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man." So we have to, Shalom says, set our hearts to learn what is written. And the only way to learn what is written is to read it and to study it. And we have to honor the holy convocations. I'm sorry, I put Lord, but of Yahweh, Yah, whoever you call the Most High. Building together as sisters in order, peace, and understanding. Apply the lesson through studying, praying, and applying it. So we have to study the word, pray over it so that we can get the full understanding and to be pleasing into the Most High and walk in that way. And then we apply it. We live by it. All right. Okay, sis, I got you. And then Sirach 6:32 is another scripture I gave, which is Ecclesiasticus and the Apocrypha. Let thy mind be upon the ordinance of the Lord, and meditate continually in his commandments. He shall establish thine heart and give thee wisdom of thine own desire. So when we seek it, we'll get it. But we have to work, study, and seek it in order to get it. You can't do anything and then think that the understanding of the scriptures is going to come to you. It doesn't work that way. So we're going to start off with an open discussion. What helps you to prepare before a class? So is there any sisters want to talk on what they do before they prepare for a class, And when I mean class, that like, even when you study on your own, what do? You just pick up the Bible and start reading, or do you pray first? I mean, just if anybody want to share any tips.
Salakia. I personally always talk to my Lord or my elders, only because we get tested with whatever we're studying. So it is very important to make sure that everyone around you is also in tune with what you're studying, rather it's your own personal study. I know I've learned to do that with my Lord, because I'm like, okay, like I'm doing a study, but this is some things that I might get tested with, and some things that he may experience as well. So I would definitely say talk to my Lord, pray on it, and sometimes I'm led to certain things to study based off of whatever I need to work on, and the Most High revealing that to me.
And that's true. Let me tell you, whenever I do a class, my PowerPoints, my Lord looks over them. I don't just come with them. and that's good. If you have a head, you definitely want to go to him. And we always want to pray over everything that we do for guidance, right? Good. Thank you, Sis Maya. Anybody else want to share? And the reason why this is in here, I know we're talking about feast days, but in order to learn the feast days, you got to learn how to study your Bible to know what the feast days actually are about. All right. If not, we're going to move on. Shalom, sis. Welcome.
Shalom, sisters.
So the Most High's appointed day times. I don't know why I didn't go back and through it. I was rushing with this PowerPoint, putting it together once I wrote everything down. Leviticus 23:2, that's the one we started out with. Speak unto the children of Israel and say unto them concerning the feast of Yahweh, which ye shall proclaim to be a holy convocation. Even these are his feast days. So they belong to the Most High, not to man. So all these feast days are for him, right? Yes, we get rest and we learn from them, but these are things that he commanded us to do. They are proclaimed as holy convocations. So we do have some that are holy convocation that are a must, right? And there's certain things you have to do and things you have to prepare yourself for. And they teach us remembrance and obedience and order and worship, right? So, and they give Israel a rhythm of holy times. So each holy day, each holy convocation, each memorial, it all feast day gives us, it lines up with something that's going on or something that took place in a time and a season, right? Because everything has a time and a season that is done. And if any sister has anything they want to say, you all are definitely welcome to join in. So we're going to go to Wisdom 6:11. Wherefore set your affection upon my word and desire them, and ye shall be instructed. Once again, the scriptures let us know when we study his word and we seek him, he'll instruct us on what to do, right? And we don't want to beat ourselves up if we forget or we didn't get it just right or the way the scripture told us exactly to do it at that time, but you keep moving forward. And what does holy convocation teaches us about gathering? So does anybody know the breakdown of holy convocations? If not, I actually did it for us because I wanted to know.
I need to take notes though.
So, discussion, what is holy convocation teaching us about gathering? So we know the word holy in Hebrew means Kodash, Quadash, Quadash. I always say it. It's apartness, holiness, sacredness, and separateness, right? It's of Yahweh's, of a place and of a thing, right? And Strong's it's a sacred place or thing, is rarely abstract. It's it's a sanctity consecrated. So it's a purity thing. Holy means pure. It's dedicated. It's hallowed. It's holiness and all that. Convocation is reading, coming together, right? So in a holy convocation, we're supposed to come together with the Most High in our minds, bringing out his words, in other words, studying, right? You don't just get together and do a bunch of buffoonery. We have to come together and recognize him and what those feasts stand for, right? I would say what convocation is Mekre. I don't know. But I put the Strongs in there if any sister want to go look it up in the Strong's dictionary. And something called out, public meeting, act, the person or a place. Also a rehearsal, an assembly, calling, convocations, and reading. So we can come together all in one spot together, or like we do on Zoom, because everything is a rehearsal, and we say it all the time. We are practicing these righteous acts so we can get it together. Is there any sister that want to elaborate on anything? All righty. I did an annual feast timeline. Leviticus 23:4. These are the feasts of the Lord of Yahweh, even holy convocations, which ye shall proclaim in their season. Everything has a season, a time and a place for everything. So we have our weekly Sabbath, that is every 7 days. Then we have our spring feast days, which is Passover, Feast of Unleavened Bread, First Fruits, and Pentecost. Then there are the fall feast days, which is the blowing of the trumpets, atonement, tabernacle, and I say the 8th day, so it's that last great day, it's that last day of tabernacles, the 8th day of tabernacles. And then memorials that we have are new moon, Purim, and feast of dedication, right? So if we go to our Apocrypha and Ecclesiasticus, which is Sirach, 33 and 7. Does anybody want to read that one?
I can read.
Go ahead. Go ahead, sis. Go ahead.
You sure? Okay. And you said, can you call the book chapter verse again, sis?
Sirach, Ecclesiasticus, and the Apocrypha 33, 7 through 9.
Okay. Okay, this is the book of Ecclesiasticus, 33, starting at verse 7. And it says, why doth one day excel another, when as all the light of every day in the year is of the sun? By the knowledge of the Lord they were distinguished, and he altered seasons and feasts. Some of them he had made high days and hallowed them, and some of them have he made ordinary days.
Okay. So even the Most High said everything for a place, a season, and a time. We got a high holy days, and then we have just regular feast days and memorials, right? So everything has a purpose, has a season, and there's a reason why we do them. Anybody got anything to say? Comments? Sisters want to add in anything so far? Okay, so which does a sister know which feast day comes first in the year? Which day, sis?
The first feast of the year will be Passover.
Khan. Passover is the first feast of the year, and that was Passover marked the beginning of the year for us. So if any sister want to know what marks the beginning of the year for Israel, it is Passover. Not New Year, but Passover. The foundation of holy times, Sabbath, holy convocation, and remembrance. So we're going to go to Leviticus 23 and 6. It's 23 and 3. Salakia. Y'all know I work, so overlook my tongue. 6 days shall work be done, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of rest, a holy convocation. So the Sabbath day is a holy convocation. So it's a time to reflect on the Most High. It is kept pure, and we're supposed to come together. So in the scriptures, a lot of sisters, we don't have a congregation in the state you're in, but we can come together on Zoom, or you can come together and sit in your living room and watch a class on YouTube. There's many ways to do that. And if you're living by yourself, you got YouTube. You got some sisters, a lot of sisters that do Zoom classes on the Sabbath. But then there are a lot of classes where teachers teach on the Sabbath. LOI has a class on the Sabbath. I know it's quite a few, IUIC or Sons of Thunder. It's a lot of Israelite camps. I don't know them all, that have YouTube class every Sabbath on YouTube, that you can sit down with your Bible and your notebook and your pad or whatever you have to take notes and watch class, to come together with other like-minded people and learn. You got True Spirit of Christ. I was looking at so many Israelites that are waking up that's teaching Israel the right way to live. So a holy convocation and rest. So we're supposed to rest, right? Because it's time that we have that day to rejuvenate, get our body back in line. Because a lot of us work a lot. And to be honest, one day ain't even enough. Not the way I work. A sign of order and obedience. Because he gave us this and it's done so we know, so he can see if we're going to obey him and do what he asks us to do. A time to cease from regular labor and gather in holiness. A pattern for family worship, reading, and instruction, right? So even if you run out of, can't get on the internet, if you have a Bible, sit down and read your Bible. Sing worship songs with yourself. It's more, you can acknowledge the Most High. So we don't have any excuses on that. And then we have Sirach 32, Ecclesiasticus. I kept going back and forth with it. Don't know why. Maybe because I was making this slide throughout time. 32 and 24. If any sister wants to read that one.
I'll read Sirach 32 and 24. He that believeth in the Lord taketh heed to the commandment.
Yep. So he that believeth the Lord taketh heed to the commandment. So if you believe him, you're going to do what he asks you to do. Right? He said, if you love me, keep my commandments. Right? So we have to learn to keep his commandments. If we say we love him and we don't keep his commandments, we are lying. I'm just going to be honest. You're not telling the truth. You're doing it in words only, not in deed. How can a sister prepare her home and her heart before the Sabbath? Anyone wants to answer that? Anything that you do to prepare yourself for the Sabbath? Go ahead, Sister Dana.
I actually start my cleaning process on Wednesdays. So that way by the time Friday come, I'm just doing like a quick tidy up. Especially being in the house with 4 boys and a husband. Yeah. I start early. I also start, well, one thing I know that me and my head do, we actually start prepping outside of lunch, like, okay, what do you have in mind? We try to like do it on Wednesdays. Like, okay, what do you think we have in mind? So that way when we do go to the market on Thursdays and Fridays, because I work from home anyway, so a lot of times I just get our marketing delivered. It's more like we already start, we don't wait till Thursday to do everything. We start Wednesday, so that way by Friday, we already have everything set up. We already know what we want. We already, even down to what we're going to have when the Sabbath ends was for dinner that Saturday night. Like we already have everything together that we want.
Okay. And you know what? When my kids were younger, we did that too. I started on Wednesdays. And a lot of times on Sabbath, after Sabbath and that Sunday, I start putting a meal together in my head. Because a lot of times we have to think, you got to start getting creative with these meals, right? Because it's like,
absolutely.
Yes. So thank you, sis. That's a good practice.
And also what we started doing was we started trying different wraps now. So my kids is getting into like salmon wraps and chicken wraps and just different wraps and things like that.
Okay. I didn't even realize I love cold pasta until I started doing that. So I actually like that, different types of pastas. Any other sisters want to share?
I would definitely say, agreeing with Dana, I definitely want to make sure that everything is prepared early because it seems like something always happens on Thursday where it's just like we're rushing. So, we definitely are getting into like preparing early, but also, um, I do a heart check. I do a heart check
Good.
with my sister. I do a heart check. Well, all my sisters, but I do a heart check with my sister, my Lord, and our children. Um, I had recently got cut on Matthew 5. If let's see if I can pull that up. Um, Matthew 5 and 23 and 24. Um, and this was kind of started convicting me to do this.
Matthew 5.
Yeah, Matthew 5, 23 and 24.
Okay, I got it.
Okay. Please, Baba Kasha.
Okay. Therefore, if thou bring thy gift to the altar, and there remembers that thy brother have aught against thee, leave there thy gift before the altar, and go thy way. First, be reconciled to thy brother, and then come and offer thy gift. That's good.
Kind of, I know this is talking about we're like bringing the gifts to the altar, but I also apply this to when we're coming into a feast, which was, Sabbath was a gift given to us, a day of rest by the Most High, and just making sure I don't go into a feast day, even something, well, it's not simple, but even going into the Sabbath, which we
Yep.
do just making sure that any issues like are resolved, that there's no secret malice, making sure that I didn't offend my Lord, my sister, or anything like that. Like, I definitely, even with our children, like we have even started doing that with our children, just like taking those steps to making sure that, we are examining ourselves before the Sabbath. So that way
Con,
we're presenting ourselves as, the sacrifices that we're supposed to offer ourselves, but not just going into the Sabbath with malice, because it kind of defeats the purpose of, these holy days and how we're supposed to be inwardly.
con. That is so true. Because we are a living sacrifice for him, right? So if we going into it defiled, then that's not good either. So that's a good one too, sis. The water for sharing. Any other sister? All righty. We're gonna move on to the next one.
Oh, I'm sorry, sis.
Go ahead, sis. Go ahead.
I'm gonna say I just feel like the best thing to do is plan because like sis said, if planning to me, I feel like when you're trying to do everything at one time does slip away. You look Thursday, then slipped away, and then here comes Friday. The next, the sun about to be down, and you run around trying to get like last minute things. I feel like the best thing to do, and I had to learn that the hard way. The best thing to do is definitely prep. And what made me start doing that on Wednesdays was, in the winter it gets dark early. So
Con,
when I wasn't working from home and I was, of course working in the doctor's office, it was hard for me sometimes to try to make sure because I didn't get off till like 4:30. So it's already dark by 4 o'clock. So and I always found myself like trying to do last minute stuff or running around. And he was like, well, why don't we just start prepping on Wednesday? And I was like, that makes a lot of sense. He said that way we didn't already started, having everything in order. So by the time we get home Friday evening, everything is pretty much already done. Everything is already in place. And that does makes a lot of sense. I feel like prepping and making like even if you wanna, like you said before, you were saying on Sundays, like we do Sunday reset in the house too with the kids, everything. Everybody get up on Sunday, you clean, make sure your laundry done, everything. But they know on Wednesdays, like, okay, our mommy's going to the market. So what's next do y'all want for the Sabbath? What do y'all, because they know come Friday, don't come to me the last minute and say, Ma, because I'm sorry, I'm going to tell you now. Because you had Wednesday and Thursday to tell me what you
yep.
wanted.
Like the women, the parable of the virgins, right? Paired with the
Right.
oil. Some didn't have enough. So
Right. Don't. Let me know if you what you want. Let me know, even down to fruit. If you want a particular fruit, because my kids love fruit. So I made fruit salad every Sabbath. So I'm like, let me know if y'all want to switch it up and do a different fruit. But do not come to me Friday evening saying, oh man, mine, because I'm sorry. You're just not gonna get it. Because I'm not rushing.
I feel you, sis. Any other sisters? Go ahead, sis K.
Yes, for my household as well, I do my best to do like Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. Like Thursdays is my cutoff spot because I'm the household of 4 or 5 of us, so I have to make sure that I got everything prepped, like starting from figuring out what kind of groceries I have to purchase to breaking up like what kind of cleaning I have to do. So it's the same thing like what the sister said, but I'm just breaking it up throughout the week because
Uh-huh.
it's the same thing. Something just comes out of nowhere and you're just like, ah, and then boom, it's Friday evening, right? So I try not to fall into that category as the best of my ability. So that's what I've been doing, and it's been working out pretty good for me.
Yep. So proper planning keeps us
Yes,
right.
yes, planning is definitely you have to do.
Kind. So that's what I hear from all the sisters. Planning. We have to plan. We know these
Yes.
come. This day comes up every week, every seventh day, right? So we have to stay prepared. All right. Anybody else want to share? All right. So Sabbath reflection. Isaiah 58:13. If thou turn away thy foot from the Sabbath and from doing thy pleasures on my holy day, and call the Sabbath a delight, the Holy One of Yahweh honorably, and shall honor him, not doing thy own ways, nor finding thy own pleasures, nor speaking thy own words. So we have to prepare before the Sabbath so that the day can be kept with peace. Because a lot of times when we don't get prepared, it causes chaos. Cause chaos in your mind, in your heart, and you're not already going into the Sabbath wrong. I know, been there, done that. And I'm a mother of 6, and me and my husband, so it was 8. And then a lot of times my kids had people that spent the night. So we always had to be prepared. And use this day for reading, praying, fellowship, and corrections. So you can correct yourself. You know how when you self-reflect, you think about something. All right. So teach children why the Sabbath day is set apart. So we have to let our kids know so they can grow up knowing, right? And let the Sabbath strengthen the family and the sisterhood. Because that's the time the Most High is set apart. You get to spend time with your family. Because in the world we live in today, we always working. We always busy. There's always something going except for that day. Right? My kids are all grown. And some don't even live where I live at. They live in other places. But the ones that do live close, they come over. And right now I have my grandson staying with me. And so me and him sit upstairs and watch Judah sketch because he loves that, or the Israelite thing now, so cartoon that they got out, and he watches those, and he even watched the Bible in Black with me in other classes, and we sit together and I talk to him about it, right? So we have to remember that's what we do for the Sabbath. We have to strengthen our families. We have to wives pour into their husbands, peace and strength, and the husbands pour into their wives, and then we pour into our children, right? Instruct them, talk to them, have a conversation. Because if you get to talking to your kids, you will learn a little weird way of thinking. You talking and you would instruct, right? You give them kudos if they did something correctly, or then you tell them the right way if they did it wrong, how to do it better. Right? That's a time to sit back and reflect with family. The next one I have is 2nd Ezra 14 and 34. Does anybody want to read that one? 15 and 34. If not, I will read it. Therefore, if so be that ye will subdue your own understanding and reform your hearts, you shall be kept alive, and after death ye shall obtain mercy. So if we do this and we keep ourselves right and we do what's right and work at our own understanding through the scriptures, then we're gonna get the victory, right? Even after death, he's gonna show us mercy. We're gonna live again. A reflection: what can I do this week to call the Sabbath a delight? Right? Because the Sabbath is supposed to be a delight. It's supposed to be a joyful thing. So, like, yes, sisters, hold on. My grandbaby, he's bringing stuff in my room. All right. Any sister want to reflect on or have anything they want to say on this slide? All right, we're going to move forward. So we're going to go into the spring feast, which is the beginning of the year. The year starts in the spring, not in the fall. Nothing. The beginning of the year is when everything is blooming and looking beautiful, not when it's dying. Right? So Passover. Leviticus 23 and 5. Does anybody want to read that one? All right. In the 14th day of the first month at evening is Yahweh's Passover. So one thing I have to say, a lot of sisters, we do everything in a season. If every sister done celebrate Passover on that exact same day, that's not a problem. We're practicing. This is a rehearsal. So keep this all in mind, okay? It's a rehearsal. practicing the righteous act. All right. So observe in the first month on the 14th day at evening, a memorial of deliverance from Egypt, connected to obedience, blood, protection, and remembrance. Families taught the meaning to their children. So this is something we have to teach our children. Anybody know the story of the Passover and what the children of Israel had to do, Moses and Pharaoh and all the different things that they went through, right? And then the Most High passed over all of Israel that followed what he said. The blood on the doorposts, right? Eat your food in haste. The men had to have their staff in hand and be ready to go, right? So obedience. And it was the blood that protected us. And we have to remember this, right? And we have to teach this to our children. And this is something that keeps going from generation to generation. We have not stopped generating. So this is still going on, right? And Passover is a beautiful time. To me, it is. I enjoy it. I love Passover. I like all the feast days. And even though we do is lamb and bitter herbs and unleavened bread, it is beautiful when we come together and reflect on it and read the story of Moses and Israel being free, Aaron and all that. And all the different plagues. If you teach your kids about all the different plagues that happen. As Sister Izzy always say, the Most High played chess while everybody else is playing checkers, right? So we have to remember what Passover is for, what the remembrance is, that Israel was delivered from Egypt, right? That's Passover. And the Most High passed over Israel and killed all the firstborns of Egypt, okay? And Wisdom of Solomon 16:6. Sorry. Sister India is having issues with her computer. We'll be back. 16:6. But they were troubled for a small season, that they might be admonished, having a sign of salvation, to put them in remembrance of the commandments of the law. Right? So we went through this and had to remember. And if you can remember, every captivity we have ever been put in is because we broke the commandments. Like now, we're waking up and remembering what we're supposed to do and who we are, that we have to keep these commandments, right? And keeping the commandments, part of keeping the commandments is honoring these feast days, right? Why does the Most High command Israel to remember deliverance? Why do we have to remember our deliverance? Anybody know? Want to say? Want to share? So we remember things so we don't repeat them. Right? So now we're remembering and we're not repeating the same things we did before that was wrong, that was against the commandments, that was against the laws and the teaching of the Most High. Passover scripture studies, Exodus 12:14. And this day shall be unto you for a memorial. You shall keep it as a feast unto Yahweh throughout your generation. You shall, you shall keep it as a feast by an ordinance forever. So we still generating. So this feast days is not done with, over with. Passover is something we have to constantly keep doing. A memorial, remember the works of the Most High. Instruction, teach the children while we keep it. Obedience, follow what Yahweh commanded. Separation, Israel was called to move according to divine order. He told them to roast the lamb, eat in haste, put blood over your doorpost, and when he's done, you got to move fast. He even commanded them to go to their neighbors and get gold from them. He even changed the hearts of them to get stuff from them, to make that journey. So when Israel went into the wilderness, they didn't go with just nothing. They went with things. And the reason why we do unleavened bread, because it went so fast, the bread didn't even have a chance to rise. All right. Sirach 44:1. Let us now, let me go to it, because that one I didn't pull out of the way. The bottom one, I didn't put the whole scripture. All righty. Ecclesiasticus 44:1. If anybody wanted to read it, I'm getting there, but I'm moving kind of slow. 44:1. Here I am. And these feast days are beautiful, and all of them have a special connection to us. And when you go into them, you just feel different. I know I do. 44:1. Let us now praise famous men and our fathers that begot us. So we want to thank Moses and all our forefathers that did great works for us, that set the path, that did things to help Israel. We have quite a few forefathers, from Moses to Joshua and Paul. It's a lot. We can go on and name so many people and sisters that helped Israel. We've been reading about Judith, the Sabbath. She did great works for Israel, right? So when they say famous people, we have to think about all of them, especially our famous brothers, right? There were a lot of them that did a lot for Israel. How can we explain Passover clearly to our young children? Do you sisters know how to explain that to the kids? Because we did a lesson when we used to do the young lions, right? Because you have to make things fun for them. Like, talk about the plagues. Kids love to talk about the plagues. And the sea parting and walking over on dry ground, right? And then we passed through the Red Sea. And then the Most High caused all of Pharaoh and his army to drown. So in that story, you can read it. It's in Exodus. That's why Exodus is called that, because of the Exodus out of Egypt. Is there anything anybody wants to say on this one, on Passover? Any other input they want to put in it? All righty. The Feast of Unleavened Bread, which comes right after Passover. Okay. Leviticus 23:6. On the 15th day of that same month is the Feast of Unleavened Bread unto Yahweh. 7 days you must eat unleavened bread. All right. Beginning on the 15th day of the first month, we keep it for 7 days. Constance, thank you for joining us. We miss having you. We have to keep it for 7 days. The first and the 7th day are holy convocations. So you come together and it's a good time, no working and all that's supposed to be done. But we know we're in captivity now. And so sometimes working is not something you can overlook. I wish some of these feast days I just can't wait till Israel get back in place. And we don't have to worry about all of that. So no servile work is supposed to be done on those holy convocations. Do sisters know what servile mean? What type of work is servile work? I forgot to break that down. All right, I'll pull it up. Hold on, and I will read it to you. So servile work refers to laborers, physical and mental labor, typically associated with servant or physical turmoil rather than intellectual or artistic endeavors. So we're gonna keep on going. Physical work is like hard work and getting up and going. You can make your bed up. A lot of people, well, not back that up. Whatever your Lord said not to do in his house, that's what you don't do, right? So when it comes down to serve our work, sisters who have a head, talk to your head. What he prefer you not to do, as in laborer's work. Okay? So like in my house, we can make our beds. But I know at some sisters' house, they don't make their beds on those days. And Feast of Unleavened Bread, we cook, we prepare the table and all that. We just don't work outside the home. I'm not pulling up no trees. I'm not lifting no beds and doing no deep cleaning. None of that in my house. Right? So Sirach 35:1, how to keep the laws. He that keepeth the law bring an offering enough. So that's your sacrificial offer. We keeping the laws and we being a sacrificial offering to the Most High by being pleasing to His sight, keeping His law, statutes, commandment. What does preparation teaches us about obedience? Does any sister want to answer that one? Because He tells us to prep and to be prepared. So we've been obedient by being prepared. The way Sis Dana, Sis Kay, and Sis Maya, their preparations. So what I did, because I'm not gonna lie, I was falling behind. So I had to go on LOI calendar, and I wrote it all the feast days out in my planner that I use for work is in there. So it'll be a remembrance to me. And I also write it on my dry erase, use a dry erase pen marker and put it on my mirror that's in my kitchen going into my hallway. So when I walk past it, I can see it and I don't forget. Because I had got slack at one moment. When the kids got grown and it was just me and my Lord I had to take care and worry about, I kind of slid off a little. So now I'm getting back on track because I'm doing things to remind myself. Right? Because if not, out of sight, out of mind with me. And then I look and I'm like, hear somebody say something on Telegram or I see something, I'm like, oh my gosh, did I really forget? Right? So it's a constant and it's something I study and I'm starting to study more. Usually when I get home from work, I'm tired. I just sit there and relax and don't do anything other than feed my Lord and that's it. But I'm getting back into studying my Bible on a constant basis, reading it in the morning, praying constantly because I felt myself slipping. So I had to get back to who the Most High called me to be, right? And being a light for my family, my kids, my daughters, my sons, my grandkids, because I'm responsible for showing them the righteous ways. It's up to them to follow. And the next feast day is Feast of First Fruits. Leviticus 23:10. Speak unto the children of Israel and say unto them, when ye be come into the land in which I give unto thee, ye shall reap the harvest thereof, and they shall bring a sheaf of first fruits of your harvest unto the priest. So we're not in our land, so we're not taking the first fruits because the Most High don't want some of these fruits we got here in this land. But we still observe, we remember it. We in my house, I do fruit, lay out fruit on the table, we eat, and it's basically of feasting time for us. So we connect to the harvest in the land. The first portion was brought before Yahweh, teaches honor, gratitude, and giving the first to the Most High, right? So that's what the Feast of First Fruit was. We gave him the first of our crops, the first of everything. When we were in our land and you doing things, that's what you gave, right? A lot of people like to bring up tithes and offering. Tithes and offering was not monetary. It was food, because that's what we gave the Levites. The offering was made in an appointed order. So it was a certain time that we did this. Is there any other sisters that want to reflect on first fruits or have anything they want to say? All right. And so everybody gave of their own substance. You didn't try, it wasn't like trying to meet up with the Joneses. Whatever your offering was your offering. It's not trying to outdo somebody or do better than someone else. Right? Go ahead, Sis Kay.
Yeah, it's just making sure that, you prioritize the relationship with the Most High first.
Come on.
So
That's what I was just going to get into.
Important highlights. Yeah. I figured.
What does it mean to give the Most High your first and your best? Like Sis K said, it's giving him your time. Reflecting. Yes, we do the feast thing, and then we celebrate and come together and decorate the homes and all that, but you give him your time. Right now, that's the best thing we can give him is our time and our respect and keeping these commandments and living, being a light to other Israelites, even to other nations. We should not be a mockery among other nations anymore. Once you know, you do better. The Feast of Week, which is Pentecost, that's next. That comes out so you got Passover, unleavened bread, Feast of First Fruits, and then Feast of Weeks, which is Pentecost. That's the order they go in. Leviticus 23:16. Even unto the morrow of the seventh Sabbath, you number 50 days, and ye shall offer a new meat offering unto Yahweh. Count 7 Sabbath, then number 50 days. And that's when Pentecost is. Also called the Feast of Weeks. It's a holy convocation. You connect to harvest, offering, and rejoicing before Yahweh. My son, defraud not the poor of his living. So a lot of things that we did, it was to benefit all of Israel, not just us, right? It's the Levites, especially because they didn't get a portion of land. And how does verse 22 connect to worship with mercy? So we're going to go to verse 22 in Leviticus 23. Oh, man, I'm on Parker for help me, Father. And when you reap the harvest of your land, thou shalt not make clean riddance of the corners of the fields when thou reapest, neither shalt thou gather any gleaning of thy harvest. Thou shalt leave them unto the poor and to the strangers. I am Yahweh, your power. So when we were in our land and we did our own harvest, you didn't clean up your whole land. You didn't harvest everything. You left portions for the poor to come and get. They gleaned the corners and the strangers that was passing through that wanted something to eat. So Israel, we always thought about one another. And even today, we can think about each other, even if we can't give somebody something. You can think by praying with them, speaking with them, talking with them in a time of trouble or when they need assistance. And it's not always monetary, because I'm going to let you know I don't always have money to give. But I can pray that the Most High will send someone to help you or guide you in a direction that can help you. Is there anyone else that has anything they want to say on this one? Sorry, my finger barely touched it and it moved. So, Zanine, can you come off or no? Or you still can't come off mute? Maybe she can't.
No, I'm on my phone. What did you ask me, sis?
Nothing. I just wanted to see if you had anything to say.
Oh no, I'm listening.
Okay. Well, correct me if I'm wrong now, y'all. So now we're going into the false feast. We got memorial blowing of the trumpets, atonement, and tabernacle, and 8th day, that great day. That's the last day after tabernacle, the 8th day of tabernacles. The Feast of Trumpets, Leviticus 23 and 24. Okay, we know the brother's the one that blow the trumpet, but I just love the picture. Sorry. Speaking to the children of Israel, saying, in the 7th month of the 1st day of the month, shall ye have a Sabbath, a memorial blowing of the trumpet, a holy convocation. The first day of the 7th month, a Sabbath and a holy convocation, a memorial blowing of the trumpet. No servile work, offerings made by fire unto the Lord. Well, we know we don't do offerings by fire anymore because the sacrificial part is gone. Right? Does anybody know the purpose of the Feast of Trumpets? So when we blow the trumpet was blown for many different reasons. When my husband's looking at you, say, you know they blow the trumpet for war. Yes, I do. The trumpet let us know when a feast or something is about to occur. Every man of Israel cried to God with great frequencies. And it might be a little bit more to memorial blowing a trumpet, but my brain is stuck. And what does a memorial help Israel to remember? The feast days, things that come into place. Okay? Trumpet discussions, Numbers 10 and 10. Also in the day of your gladness and in your solemn days and in the beginning of your months, you shall blow with the trumpet. Is anybody keeping up with the time? Because I'm not. I'm sorry. The trumpet over your burnt offerings and over your sacrifice of peace offerings, that they may be to you for a memorial before Yahweh. I am Yahweh, your power. The trumpet marks solemn days and appointed times. They brought Israel in remembrance of the Most High. They called attention to worship and gather in readiness. They reminded us to be spiritually awakened and attentive. So, like a lot of times when you come together and on Sabbath night when the sun was set, my Lord would blow the trumpet. Feast days, they blow the trumpet. So that the trumpet represents a lot for us. Be of good comfort, O my children, and cry unto God. Can you go away? Can I have it? No, because you're not being obedient. Talk to you later. Love you. Salakia sisters.
Salakia says we are right at 7 o'clock, but I did want to add to what you're saying about the trumpets. The trumpet, like you said, it was used for many different things. Let's see, I just lost my place. So the trumpets were used to direct Israel's movements, to assemble the congregation, sound alarms for war, and herald feasts and new moons. So all of those times we blew the trumpets.
Thank you, Thwada, sis, because my brain is locked. I should have put it in here, but I was like, oh, I remember what how to say. So that blowing of the trumpet is very, very important for us. And it is at 7. We're going to have to do a 2-part. Sis India told me when she looked over it. She's like, this is going to be a 2-part. I was saying that too, but I was hoping I can get through it. So we will pick up on the next slide next Wednesday. Khan?
And if I could say, I apologize. I wasn't as helpful in this
No, you're
class.
fine, sis.
I kind of lost my voice, and then on top of that, I don't know what's going on with my internet on my computer, so I was trying to troubleshoot it while I was listening. So I apologize, y'all.
No worries, no worries. I got you, sis. Just happy you were here. All right. Does any other sister has anything they want to say?
Lovely as always.
Khan, the water, sis.
I do have one other thing. Sis Maya, if you're still there, I'm going to shoot you a private message about something I wanted to chat with you about, okay?
She had to get off. She said she had to hop off.
Okay. The water.
All righty. She did say she love you. She love her sisters, and she had to hop off. She did say, and she also said she missed these classes. So. All right, my lovely sisters, I'm gonna stop this recording.